the last 30 minutes of this movie just goes like bananas.
It is insane.
So bonkers. And I like my notes, because at some point my notes went bonkers too. And I just was like, it just de-evolved into hate speech. I can't explain it any other way. I'm like trying to read.
Oh my God, that's so meta. It actually made you a racist.
You're back.
Welcome to Cinematics Problematics, where we celebrate your guilty pleasures. I am Krissie Rettig.
And I am Erin Maxwell.
And today we are unfortunately talking about 2004's Crash, written and directed by Canadian Paul Haggis, who took it upon himself to make a commentary on LA's racism issue. This won Best Picture over Brokeback Mountain, Good Night, Good Luck, Munich, Capote, and mostly because it was before the Academy had minorities in it and reflected the myopic worldview of old white male Academy members and how they viewed racism and people of color. To this day, we still have no idea how this won Best Picture. The film stars Matt Dillon, Thandiwe Newton, Terrence Howard, Michale Pena, Ludacris, Lorenz Tate, Don Cheadle, Sandra Bullock, Brendan Fraser, Ryan Phillipe, and many more otherwise talented actors who managed to be the least likable cast this century. The film has a runtime of 1 hour and 57 minutes. Erin, do you want to tell us about the first time that you saw this film?
I saw it in an Academy screening. Oh my God, Krissie, did you know that racism is bad?
Oh my God, what?
Oh my God.
There's racism in Los Angeles?
I wrote a review on Letterboxd that said this is the Love Actually for racism, except like it's racism instead of Christmas.
Shut your mouth. It is not Love Actually. How dare you? How dare you compare this film to that beautiful, lovely Christmas classic?
It's just everybody's miserable. So there's no love. There's no actually. It's just racism and people like being miserable.
Should we call it racism actually?
It's actually racism.
Assholes actually?
Listen, in my house, there's one Crash. That Crash is directed by David Cronenberg.
Right.
It's about sexual deviants finding each other after a car accident.
Much more enjoyable.
Love in a broken place.
I mean, much more enjoyable topic.
So much more enjoyable.
Much more enjoyable film.
Beautiful film. They find love after car accidents and then they fuck each other. And I will watch that movie a billion times and enjoy it more than I would ever stomach watching this film twice now.
I can't complain with this. Like, no notes. I mean, okay, so going back to your Academy screening, you went to saw it at the Academy. What happened? Okay, so how were you feeling during, after? What were you hearing from other people at the Academy?
There was actually a moment where my soul left my body and I thought this was a parody. And the thing is, it's like, I don't know what it is about this movie that I just detest so much, but I feel like it talks down to you. Yeah. It has the same vibe as a PSA.
Well, it's so unsubtle. It is so unsubtle. It feels so fucking forced in so many ways when like there's obviously overt racism, like, and you encounter it, but like most of it is very, very like beneath the surface for most people in Los Angeles, right? Like there are like these things that you hear and do or say like that you're just kind of like, huh? Like that doesn't sound right. But this film is like racism on crack.
I literally would get more out of the old Schoolhouse Rocks songs about being a melting pot and getting along than I got from this movie.
Yeah, I don't even know if what is the movie even saying that? It's very...
This movie isn't even about, like, I feel like no one is really that, yeah, everybody's kind of racist, but they're mostly just rude.
Yeah.
They're just super rude.
Yeah, they're not nice people. Like, I don't want to hang out with any of these people except for Michale Pena.
Yeah, like, it's like, they don't even tackle issues, and we'll get into this when we get into the problems, but it's not like it's tackling systematic racism. It's just tackling single people and their issues, and most of those issues can be like dealt with like one hardcore class on just not being rude to other people. Right. Fuck you, Sandra Bullock. Just like not be nice to your fucking help.
Well, I remember like when this came out, like it was kind of shocking because we're like, oh, Sandra Bullock was still had kind of like that good girl image. Like she still had that rom-com,
Sure.
all-American kind of like nice girl thing happening, you know, and people loved her. And now all of a sudden she's like in this Paul Haggis film talking about fucking gangbangers and being a racist asshole, you know, this like icy wife to like a DA. It's just, it was kind of shocking at the time.
Same with Brendan Fraser, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't even like, he was one of the lower offenders on this. Like, yes,
Right.
he didn't go full villain in this.
No,
He was just kind of like an opportunistic asshole.
Right. And Sandra Bullock never really learns her lesson. She just gets injured.
She randomly falls down. I'm sorry.
She just, like,
Wait,
now
we'll get
I have to, like,
we will get into this. I don't want to
Yeah.
get us to get it because there's so much. Like, I mean, I wrote down every single scene because it's like when I take notes, I write down like all the issues that I find, right? And sometimes like I write down extra detail just to know what scene I'm in and whatever. I wrote down every single fucking scene of this film.
I wrote down every little story that was going on and who was in it and why it was stupid.
Yeah. But you know what was so funny? Okay, so when I first saw this film, I did not see it in the theater, which was rare for me. I usually see like, you know, major like awards contenders or big buzz movies, especially movies with a cast like this in the theater.
Right.
But I saw it it was either on cable or on video. I don't remember which one it was, to be quite honest with you. But I remember when I first watched it going like, not understanding why they showed this to me. Like, why are you showing me? Like, who am I supposed to like here? Like, I didn't like anybody in this except for Michale Pena. I'll keep saying that. Nobody is really that redeeming. Nobody is anybody I would want to hang out with. Nobody, like, they showed us part of these people's lives. I wasn't really interested in finding out any more after like these vignettes that they're showing us about how they're, you know, tackling racism in Los Angeles. So I was left kind of saying, I guess I love seeing a cast like this put together. I always love a stacked cast like this.
Yeah.
But it was disappointing that they were used in this way and not given characters that met their talent level when racism is such a complex issue that needs to be approached with, I don't know, if you're trying to kind of like paint a picture of like an entire city, like it maybe like add a dash of subtlety, and there is absolutely no subtlety in this film. So like when you stacked it up against everything else at the end of that year, I mean, Brokeback Mountain was just, I mean, that was a beautiful fucking film.
That was a phenomenal film.
Phenomenal film. Broke me. My God. I like cared so much for those characters, and
the real
empathized.
racism is that we didn't give it to that because like afterwards Ang Lee was like, oh no, and like I feel like I was persecuted against because I created that film and homosexuality, like that it put that in the forefront, and that there was a lot of persecution going against that film. I'm like, you know what? You're right. We went with this other film that was pushing this stupid fucking message that was just like, don't be racist. It gave off the same vibe as like a PSA health class film.
Yeah.
Like if you kiss, you're gonna get pregnant. Like
Well, I mean, the thing that really bothered me about the Best Picture win, was that it seemed like they voted for it to make themselves feel better. Like they were like, see, we voted for a film that addressed all these racial issues in Los Angeles and, you know, takes place in LA, which is very, you know, Hollywood town. That's like, you know, the home of everything. And they were just like, and see, we know that racism exists. We acknowledge it. And so we're going to vote for this film as an acknowledgement that it's a problem and that maybe there's some hope at the end of the tunnel. And it's just, it was so, the thing that is irritating is that it is such a blunt instrument when it comes to trying to discuss this very hot button and complex topic, that like it removed any subtlety or anything, and you just feel assaulted. I felt more assaulted by this film than actual racists. You know, like it's because it's like one after the other. It's like scene after scene after scene. Like you don't see people just getting along like people in LA do every single fucking day. Like, you know, it's a melting pot, and like a lot of us do get along with our neighbors, and like you know, like that are Hispanic or Persian or white or whatever it is, and we're fucking fine. But no, this film is like all of this disaster happens all at once. Everybody's a racist fucking asshole. Like Haggis has kind of fucking shoehorned all of this like racist dialogue in there that seems so forced. And I know it's like supposed to drive home like this larger point. I think maybe his heart was in the right place. I don't know. But my God, it gets LA so wrong. Like
Yeah.
when it comes to how all of us interact like on a daily basis. And so it just felt overdone. It felt completely over the top. It felt like it was such a limited view of like how race is treated in Los Angeles. It seemed like this was supposed to be made in like 1992.
This had the subtlety of an after-school special.
Yeah.
This was two things. One, I have a huge heart-on for films made in LA because I was born and raised in LA.
Yes, I love LA
the Brokeback
films.
Man film.
Yeah.
I love it when you take me through. I even like Pretty Women when even like they're in the car and like you're like, no, you can't go this way. They're like going this weird fuck ass way in order to get to like
So true.
and you can't
Yeah.
like go that way. But I still like it because you're still showing LA in a really kind of neat way. You're showing
Mhm.
Beverly Hills. This is made by someone that clearly either does not like the city or hasn't been here very long.
Or just
Because
sat down with
so-
people that were like, I need people who experience racism, and then like amplified
Right.
those stories
And
like times
it is
10.
my understanding, because I read a little bit behind it, that he
Mhm.
was carjacked here.
Oh,
And maybe that probably was like,
that'll do it.
Yeah, fuck the city, fuck everybody in it. And now I'm going to just take my Canadian ass and like make this hate film
So
about
essentially,
LA.
he was Sandra Bullock's character. Right? Like he was her. He was just
Yeah.
like, fuck all these
Maybe
people.
that's it. I don't
Yeah.
know. But if he thought he was making art, he's not. He was making a very offensive piece of art.
Yeah,
that
this
he did in LA. The other thing about this film that is like, other than the fact that it lacks subtlety and it didn't show my city the way I would like it to be seen, is the fact that in having so many different stories all say the same exact thing
Mhm.
in a very shitty way.
Yes. Yes.
It's just keeps hitting me over the head with terrible dialogue, a terrible point,
Mhm.
and it never makes me want to think about the piece.
Mhm.
It never makes me want to examine it. It never makes me want to put it up on some sort of pedestal and make me think about the characters. It just makes me want to escape them.
Mhm.
Because all the characters are the same. They're like, oh, they're all kind of questionable. Watch, you think that this guy's a villain, but he's not because he has a sick dad.
Yeah, we'll get to
No,
that.
that's not it. None of these characters are as complex as you think that you're trying to make them. That's not what the situation is at all. You
Mhm.
think, oh, your heroes are going to be heroes until like something bad happens and then they all become villains. Like, no, you're not. It's not that deep, man.
No.
You are writing everybody on a surface level
Mhm.
and you just stay there.
Mhm.
And
And there-
because of that, it's so frustrating because it makes all their dialogue sound like bullshit and it makes everything that they're doing seem like bullshit.
And every single interaction that these people have has like this really overt racial element to it. You know? I mean, one of my favorite in quotes lines of the entire film is when Don Cheadle's talking to the guy about possibly like getting like a promotion, and he says something like to the effect of "black guys, am I right?" or some shit. And it's just like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, this guy's gonna sit here in front of Don Cheadle and like deliver that line. It's like, what? Anyways, okay, wait. We're getting off format because we're very passionate about this, apparently.
Yes, because we're very passionate about the things we hate.
We cannot keep a lid on it. Like, it's just, it can't be contained. Okay, I know you have a lengthy list. I have a lengthy list. I mean, there's probably a few big ones, right? I mean, because obviously, like, there's racist dialogue throughout this entire thing. So, like, everybody's called every which name. But let's go through the list of the crimes against this film.
Okay. All right. So my number one issue with this is that this film, even though it was made in 2004, and it's a plot point that you brought up, is that this film seems so completely outdated with how it perceives and treats racism that it's almost as if a child wrote it or you're explaining racism to a child.
Right.
And it's not a big problem, but that's the fundamental problem that I have with this film. And once you have that problem, every character, it's like they're talking down to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you don't know what racism is, so let me explain it to you. So here's a broken down stereotype of every single race that we can think of, with the exception of Jews for some reason, but maybe they were cut for time. But and that's the only thing I could think of.
Like, one thing that I noted, like, while I was watching, I was like, wow, like, at least nobody gets away clean. The Jews got away clean.
And that's
Congratulations.
really weird because as someone that is Jewish and lives in Los Angeles, I can tell you straight off the bat that like 50% of the white population in here is Jewish.
Yes.
So he probably was like, hey, my producers are probably Jewish and I don't want to offend them.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe that was it. I mean, it could be just
I'm
as simple as
telling you,
that.
that's probably it.
Yeah.
Paul. So I'm put that first, and the reason I put that first is because I feel like a lot of the issues I have that come after that stem from that issue is that it's just they made it too simple. They took a very complex, very layered issue that is in our society that can stem from hundreds of years of issues, and I can't even break down in human language the amount of issues that can stem from racism in a stupid fucking podcast. But this movie attempts to do it by just breaking down people into stereotypes and just making them yell at each other.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is too, is like at first, yes, we get introduced to these characters that are immediately kind of like unlikable.
Yeah.
And except for a couple of exceptions, like Terrence Howard, at first I was kind of like, well, I feel, bad for that guy. You feel bad for Thandiwe Newton. I don't feel bad for Matt Dillon at all. And obviously Michale Pena's character, but they made them all like really just like unlikable people, just like really rude and racist and like throwing racist epithets around. I don't know any people that fucking do this shit. And then towards the end, for the back half, they just made them do stupid shit. Like, it was just bad, right? It was like there were so many, why are you making this character do this dumb shit? Like, this doesn't make any sense at all. Like, if this person would be in this situation, like, it just didn't. So they went from rude to stupid. And at the end of the day, I didn't want to hang out with any of these people. And they were all dicks. And I was like, why isn't the Persian, like, gun shop owner or the convenience store owner just go and shoot everybody? I'd be fine with it. Just get rid of them all. I'm sarcastic, but you know what I mean.
And for a lot of it, it seems like Haggis like broke down racism and he doesn't understand the difference between, and I brought this up before, he doesn't understand the difference between being racist and being rude.
Right.
And he seemed to confuse that too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, Sandra Bullock was kind of racist, but she was mostly rude.
Yes.
She was super rude.
Oh, she was rude and racist.
Yeah, she was like making generalizations and she was racist in her attitude, but screaming about the dishes? Screaming about like that was just being rude.
Such a
Like,
bitch move, dude. Like, she
yeah,
has a
she's
lovely
bitch mode.
housekeeper named Maria.
Yeah.
And that's like the one character name that I wanted to remember just because she's like one of the nice people in here. Like, everybody else doesn't even deserve a character name. But every single scene is trying to, it's as if they're saying, see, this is racism in this context. This is racism in this
But
context.
even
This is
with
racism. And the thing is that like every single scene, every single fucking one it's a caricature of itself.
But even Maria's like a caricature of herself because they kind of made her like the matronly, caring Hispanic woman
Mm-hmm.
that takes care of white people. And we've seen that before in films. And I'm like, listen, if my employer just yelled at me like nonstop about like unloading the dishwasher and a bunch of other things, I'm not gonna hold her in a sustained hug for like for like 5 minutes
Which is
while
what
she
yeah.
beats my shoulder. I'm gonna get the fuck away from that bitch. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna see like, oh, you broke your back? Sorry, bitch. I'm out of here.
You know what? And that was like such a like that whole thing, like, which is supposed to, I mean, we're kind of skipping to the end a little bit,
Yeah,
but
sorry.
no, I mean, but you mentioned like that scene, like, so Sandra Bullock is just a fucking bitch the entire time. And at the end, towards the end, she takes a spill down the stairs. And when she's talking to Brendan Fraser's character, who's her husband, she says, yeah, I tried to call my friends and nobody came to help me. And so now the woman that she employs, who she just fucking yelled at, she was like, you're my best friend. And it's supposed to be like this moving, I know that he meant for it to be a moving moment, but it is so cringeworthy because it's like she's saying, well, all my white friends didn't call me back, so I guess it's us. Like, that's not reconciliation.
Listen,
That's not light at the end of the fucking tunnel.
listen. She called her friends and said, I hurt my back. And her friend went, I'm taking a yoga class. I've taken yoga in LA. They're like $100 a pop for classes here. That's a legitimate reason. If she maybe said, can you wait like 30 minutes and then I'll be there? But she didn't give her friends a chance to respond.
I mean, her friends did sound kind of cunty. I mean, and he,
Listen, her friends aren't great either, but I'm just saying, like, there is other sides to this story.
true.
Do your research, Paul.
Well, first of all, who is like looking at their phone during yoga? You shouldn't be even looking at your freaking phone.
It's 2004. Your phone is just going to say your time.
It's a mobile phone too. Like, this wasn't smartphone era where everybody was attached to their phones. Nobody had their phone on them like during a class. Like, I wouldn't even see a call from anybody until after I got out of Barry's boot camp.
If you're looking at your phone, it's because you're playing Snake. That's it. That's what you're doing in 2004. You're not doing anything else. You're looking at the time, you're playing Snake.
Right. This is like pre-smartphone. But yeah, her friends seemed terrible, but it was like, aw, she's not racist anymore. Look, you guys, because she hugged her Mexican maid. Oh, isn't that sweet? Because she has nobody else around. She has no other white friends to insulate her so that she can continue to treat her housekeeper like shit. That's what that scene meant to me.
Yes.
So
and
dumb.
Don't you think that for a second she wouldn't lay off Maria if given the chance, if Maria like messes up one more time?
Oh, I'm sure. Sure. Like, this was a temporary thing. Like, once the painkillers were off, so does the niceness, I think.
So this film largely like ignores institutional and systematic racism. It doesn't really go that deep with it.
Mm-hmm. They tried to with Cheadle's character a little bit.
Yeah. So issues such as policing, housing, education, criminal justice system, that's not really there. No. Maybe a little bit, just kind of skims the surface a little bit.
Right.
But not really, doesn't go deep there. It leads to the idea that this kind of worldview is where racism has more to deal with just bad attitudes and personal issues rather than large issues with society.
Yes, for the most part. I mean, I think that's like a much more interesting, that would be like a much more interesting film for sure, because I mean, they do touch on it in a couple of scenes. Like, so there is that scene like where Ryan Phillippe's character, he goes to his commanding officer, captain, whatever he was, and he's a black man, asking to be repartnered with somebody else because Matt Dillon, he just watched Matt Dillon basically sexually assault Thandiwe Newton during a traffic stop, and he's like, he was disturbed by it. He was like, I want to switch. David Keith?
Keith is his boss.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. Yes. When you say Keith and I'm talking about Cops, I think of 6 Feet Under. Sorry. I was just like, wait, how did we get there? No. So, but the captain is like reluctant to do it because he says, I'm a black man, like in the police, and I'm not going to risk my job because it's too hard for men like me to get to where I am, just to, so you can feel like more comfortable like with a new partner, like that's essentially what he's telling that character. And then I think that there's that scene where our favorite, Matt Dillon's character, is trying to talk to the social worker about his dad. And he mentions like how his dad employed all these black people. And then all of a sudden, black people were getting all the contracts because of like a diversity initiative. How dare they, And that did touch upon that, as to try to speak to like how that character became that way. But yeah, like as a whole, you're just watching people walking around being assholes and like saying the most racist thing that comes into their mind. Like sometimes you're just like, what the fuck? Like, where did that come from? You know what I mean? Like it's just, they take like these very situational things with unlikable characters, make them racist, and then like you have to watch 2 hours of it. And that's basically what the film is.
Listen, we live in Los Angeles, and Los Angeles isn't a great city like because it's perfect.
Right.
It's not a perfect city by any stretch of the imagination, but it has also a very large, very, very deep history where it was once, a part of Mexico, and then it was annexed, and then it was taken, and then it was recolonized. And there's a lot of historical, systematic, and issues here dealing with its population. And that could have been explored in this film. That was not.
Right. Like, I think that I can probably speak for you when I say this, is that we're not saying that LA does not have racism.
No,
Like
no, no.
it is
There is
here. Like
really.
for the
It
for the
does. It does.
for the
Sure.
reasons that you just talked about, like from the
Yeah.
annexation of Mexico and stealing people's land to, Black people being depicted as gang members to, like there's like been periods of like a lot of racial tension in Los Angeles. I will say that it seems to have gotten a lot better over the years. Like I remember in the 90s, like you felt that fucking tension. Like you felt
Yeah.
it in the late 80s and the early 90s and into the mid 90s. You definitely felt that. You see like a lot of films about, about Los Angeles and gangs in Los Angeles and stuff. You saw Boys in the Hood. You see Menace to Society probably wasn't in Los Angeles. I don't remember. But there are a lot of movies coming out around that time that explored this in a much better way, because they took kind of like one world and said, this is how it's affecting these people. But this film is trying to cover so much fucking ground and trying to wedge really extreme racist like events and occurrences into them that it winds up being all over the fucking place and super like unrealistic.
Yeah, and so much of LA and like how it does with its people has to do with location.
Yes.
And because this film isn't centered in one location, and this town, if you don't know it, is very vast.
It's huge.
It's huge. You can drive through it and need to like get gas.
They were in downtown. They were in Studio City. They were in, it looked like the West Side. They were in East LA. They were in
some desert location at some point.
Yeah, like wherever the fuck that was. Like
they're like, where is this? Like off the 5? Like on the way to like, it looks like they're like in Joshua Tree. Like
yeah, I don't know, man. Like they took like they're like every neighborhood sucks. Basically, Paul Haggis had a really bad time when he came to LA in every single neighborhood, you guys, because I've never seen. First of all, okay, Sherman Oaks and Burbank, and like Sherman Oaks is great. I don't know what the hate is for Sherman Oaks.
I'm like trying to remember Sherman Oaks in 2004, and I'm like, nope, still pretty good.
Yeah.
Still good.
Yeah, I don't know where you got all this shit.
Kelsey's there and everything.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it's a wonderful place. Studio City too. Like, I mean, they hit up everything. It's just okay. All right. Okay, sorry. We're getting ahead. We're going off track because we're just very passionate.
My next issue has to do with the fact that stereotypes are baked into the narrative.
Yes.
Which we're kind of chatting about.
Yes. Okay.
So,
do you want to give some examples? I feel like we're like at some point we should just go through the list of like some of these themes and examples.
As I mentioned before, we have the saintly Latina caregiver.
Yes.
We have the threatening Middle Eastern shop owner.
Yes.
All Hispanics here are poor.
Mm-hmm.
All the white people here are either racist or saviors, but then like the progressive white liberal that is revealed to be actually prejudice is like, all of the people of color are either angry thugs or they're people who are trying to become more than the angry thug that they're being stereotyped as. Like they're just surface level.
Very surface. Like one of the most infuriating parts of the film is like very early on. And it's like when Ludacris and Lorenz Tate are kind of like walking out of the restaurant and they're talking about like how the waitress treated them and how there's a stereotype about how Black people don't tip and all that stuff. And they were like, see that woman? It was Sandra Bullock. It's like, see how she just clutched her purse like we have guns or something like that and da-da-da-da. And then they confirm that actually they do have guns. And then they go and fucking carjack a car.
I was like, I even wrote about that scene because I was like taking notes and I'm like, oh, you think you're so fucking clever? Fuck you.
No, see how he switched it up on us, Erin? You see how he did that thing? You see how he switched it? Like we thought that they were good, but then they're not.
Clever if they had just left and that was their car and then they drove home to their beautiful families. The end.
Yeah, and then fucking Luda's character continues to be insufferable throughout the entire movie. Like at first it's like, okay, you're bringing up some good points, dude. But then like when he brought up like, like everything was like an oppression, right? And he was just like, why buses have windows? And I was like, oh fuck, why do buses have windows? And he says, to humiliate the people who can't afford cars in the city. And I was just like, dude, you lost me, and I really don't care what happens to you after this. Like, this character can just go away forever. Like,
and then he
what kind of writing is this?
Yeah, and then he breaks up human trafficking. The end.
Oh, but now he's good. See, but Erin.
You.
He let them go, and he
Not
gave them
you.
money
You're
for
great.
chop suey. Isn't that the sweetest?
It's so sweet.
Once again, this is like how the movie ends, folks. Like, to somehow redeem these terrible people, they put them in these situations that are not.
They had to create a more bizarre situation to get these characters to fix.
It is
and
like some of the most
make them
bizarre.
heroes.
It is some of the most bizarre shit that I have seen in a film that claims to be about reality in a city. There's so much, like, there are so many times where I was taking notes during this film and I would highlight, like, I'd be watching a scene and I'm like, why the fuck is this person doing this? And I would highlight it and then tag it with a comment that says confounding behavior. And I have that about 5 times in my note sheet. They just, like, none of this is like realistic. It's like they set up like these terrible people, and like make them seem all awful and then put them like in these really strange situations toward the end to try to redeem them. But by that point, they're so unlikable, it doesn't redeem them.
No.
It's like,
that's actually
mission not
point number
accomplished.
4. Yeah, I put that's point number 4. I'm like, false dramatic moral symmetry. And then I put down, I'm like, this whole screenplay is engineered around ironic reveals that come at the end.
Yes. Oh my God.
And like, the victim is the perpetrator, the villains become heroes, and like it's all done for stupid dramatic effect in order to elicit some sort of response from the audience. But it's like, what is that response supposed to be?
Yeah.
Is it supposed to be a eureka moment? Is it supposed to be like, what is this? Are you saving a cat? Are you like, what is this screenplay? Like,
Yeah. No, I don't know. Like, it's like there's so many things that happen over the course of this film that actually make no sense whatsoever. Like, so for example, let's take the Terrence Howard, Thandiwe Newton scene that happens at the beginning. Okay, they get pulled over. She's giving him a blowy in the car. They get pulled over. They're kind of laughing about it. Matt Dillon is the cop. Ryan Phillipe is his partner. Matt Dillon's character escalates the situation and decides to just fuck with this couple. And he's a racist. Like, this guy is like a full-blown racist. We know this very early on. And he runs his hand up Thandiwe Newton's dress. And he, it's implied that he, sexually assaults her that way. And so after this, the couple, Thandiwe and Terrence, have this big fight because she's mad at him for not defending himself. And he's kind of like, well, what the fuck did you want me to do? They're cops. They have guns. So cut to, we've talked about the carjackers, talked about Thandiwe and Terrence. Cut to, they're in Studio City driving the car. Or no, Terrence is driving a car in Studio City, broad daylight. And the 2 carjackers, Luda and Lorenz Tate, decides to carjack the car. Terrence Howard fights back and winds up with fucking Ludacris in his car, and they're racing off. He's driving really fast. Why is he driving the car off? I have no fucking idea why he's driving the car off. It doesn't make any sense. Like, why not just stay? He gets the gun. Terrence Howard's character gets the gun from Ludacris. He has the guy in the passenger seat. All he has to do is park the fucking car, get out, keep the gun on him, and make him run away. That's it. Instead, no. Of course, he's driving really fast through Studio City, and of course, cops see him. So, of course, cops chase him, and of course, the cops are incredibly hostile, saying, "Get out of the car." But Ryan Phillipe happens to be one of the cops. Great, right? You would think like, "Oh, thanks, dude. Thank you for being here." But no, Terrence Howard gets out of the car. The cops don't see Ludacris in there. He puts the gun in the back of his pants because that's smart, and then proceeds to escalate the situation with the cops. Like, what the fuck do you want from me, man? It's like, dude, they're not even fucking after you. Just tell them that you've got a fucking carjacker in your car. You happen to get his gun, and that's why you were driving all fast. Even though that sounds stupid anyways, because it's like, why the fuck did we drive away? Because the writer said that Terrence Howard drives really fast away and that the cops have to see him to force this fucking altercation between these elements. And so Ryan Phillipe is like the only sane person in the scene. And he's trying to be like, dude. He's like, I know this dude. Don't point your guns at you guys. He's like trying to calm the cops down. He's trying to calm Terrence Howard down. Terrence Howard continues to fucking lose his shit over nothing. Like, he's like trying to like regain like his masculinity or something, or his dignity, because he was emasculated by the cop. His dignity was taken away by Matt Dillon at the beginning of the movie. And so now he's acting all erratic and weird in front of these cops, and especially with the cop that he knows who's trying to make sure he doesn't get killed. Makes total fucking sense.
It plays off like a softy movie with absolutely no charm. Like with the softy movie, like at least they're all like, yes, the characters make one terrible decision after another, but there's a certain charm to it that keeps you glued. So you feel that anxiety in you. So you're like, oh my God, that's a terrible decision, but I want to see what's going to
Well,
happen
and
next.
also like the things that the characters do are on brand for that character. Like if
Yeah.
you watch like
Yeah.
Uncut
And
Gems,
so
like
like when you're
they,
watching like Good Time or like Uncut Gems or
yeah,
Marty Supreme, and it's like, yeah, they're making shitty decision after shitty decision,
that's that
but
person.
there's a charm to it, and you're like, you want to go on this ride, even though they're making terrible decisions. I don't want to hang out with these people. These people are not a good hang.
Well, the
They're
thing that they're
terrible
not a good
people.
hang at all. And but the thing that really bothered me about this scene is that it doesn't make sense for this guy as they've set
Right.
him up. Because when we first see him, like when he gets pulled over with his wife, he's logical. He's maybe logical to a fault, right? Because he's just like letting the cop do whatever to his wife, but he's also cognizant of like, I'm a black man. There's two cops here with guns, and if I do something, we could both get killed. That makes sense. That I understand that, even if I also understand Thandiwe's her anger towards him for not doing something about it. I get both of that. I get that. But what he does at the end is he completely like loses his shit for no good reason after somebody tries to carjack him. It's not like I would understand it more if the carjacking had never taken place and the cops just saw him driving down the street in a navigator, like a really nice navigator, and they pull him over again for something stupid, right?
Right.
Like that would make more sense. But no, this is after a carjacking, an attempted carjacking. He has the carjacker in the car. The cops come. Tell them you have a fucking carjacker in your car. Like,
Everybody
why didn't
makes
that
dumb
happen? It's like,
decisions.
it didn't make
Everybody
any
makes
sense. Yeah, it was just the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen. And then, like, the super logical dude just starts acting all erratic out of nowhere, not being logical whatsoever. And it made no sense. It
Yeah.
made no fucking sense. Like, and it was infuriating because I kind of get what he's trying to say with this, like with, you know, this affluent black man, like film director, you know, he's, you know, he probably has got some money. He probably lives a more comfortable life than others. But at the same time, he's facing the same racism that other guys are facing. Like, okay, I get your point, Reddit, you know, but this whole scene, I don't understand why the carjackers had to be there. I don't understand why the car drove away. It was like they were trying to come up with like some excuse for the car to be driving very quickly and erratically away from something so that the cops had to see it. It was just so weird. It just did make no sense at all.
Following that scene,
Mm-hmm.
when the other carjacker that we see later on,
Lorenz Tate, yeah.
like, is killed, and then he's
Yes.
found by
That scene didn't make any fucking sense either. Do you want to take our audience on a little trip through that scene?
Well, the scene I was going to take them through was going to be the scene of when Don Cheadle finds him and you realize that's his brother that he was supposed to be looking for.
Fuck's
And
sake.
then his mother blames him for it. And it's a whole thing where it's all like, it's all on you. I don't blame me. I blame you because you're supposed to be out looking. It's like this grown ass man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a 30-year-old man looking for another 30-year-old man. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you're a terrible mother. You should not. Clearly, you have favorites, and you favored the one shitty brother over the one that like paid all of your bills, which I don't understand why. You should just either A, love your children equally, or like love the one that's doing good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was kind of like they were saying, don't you feel bad for him now? Don't you feel bad for Don Cheadle? It was just like, I didn't need to feel fucking bad for him. His brother just died. I'm sure.
Listen, I feel bad he lost a brother. I feel worse for him that he's a shitty mom.
I just didn't need that. Like, what did that bring to anything except to show that his mom just sucks?
Are we supposed to feel that we're not supposed to like Don Cheadle because he was supposed to be looking for his brother and he was too busy? No, that isn't how I feel.
No, I didn't feel that way at all because we didn't even know. First, we didn't know whose brother was until the very end.
Right.
Secondly, they gave us no reason to care about this brother character. Why do we want him to look for him? It's like he sounds like, you know, he could be trouble. Like apparently he'd been arrested before. Why should we put our focus on that and our emotional energy into it?
Grown ass man has spent his life being his brother's keeper, and you can't. That's not his job. He clearly has another job.
Clearly, and is still checking up on mom.
What's your mama doing? Your mama doesn't look like she's doing anything.
She's not. She's doing heroin.
Then
That's what it was. There was a spoon and some residue. So pick your
Oh,
poison, I
God.
guess. It was bad. It was drugs. But I do want to go back to the scene that
Sorry,
you
I'm
brought up.
jumping around because so much of this movie is just hitting me in flashes of
Yeah,
how infuriating this movie
I
is.
get it. Trust me. I'm right there with you. So talking about like other things that are just like confounding behavior and I don't know what point it's trying to fucking make is the scene that you mentioned. Like, so where Lorenz Tate, he got away from carjacking Terrence Howard in the
Yeah.
scuffle and he's looking for a ride back. I don't know why he can't just get the bus because he seemed to be a fan of the bus earlier, but of course he does. There's no buses nearby for some odd reason. So he's trying to hitchhike back over the hill. And for those who are geographically challenged and don't live in Los Angeles, that means from the valley over the hill back into kind of like LA proper. So he's trying to get a hitch ride. Ryan Phillipe, the cop that we know from the beginning of the film, happens to be driving by and decides to pick up a hitchhiker because
Which is
we
something
have to for the plot, apparently. We have to make this happen somehow.
not allowed to do that, by the way. Can't do that, but go ahead.
So he picks him up. And at first, it's like some friendly banter, you know. He's like, "Thanks, man, for picking me up." And Ryan Phillippe's character, by the way, like throughout this entire film, he's like probably one of the most chill people in this film. Was like him and Michale Pena's character, like seem like decent dudes, right? Like with a moral compass and everything. And so, like, I'm rooting for Ryan Phillipe, right? And Lorenz Tate like notices that Ryan Phillipe has like a little charm on the hood of his dash of his car that's the same as the one that he carries around with him, and he starts laughing. And Ryan Phillippe's like, "What's so funny?" He's like, "Nothing, man." It's like, just tell me you have the fucking charm in your fucking pocket, dude. This is what pissed me off sometimes with writing in films too. Is just like, there's a very simple way to solve this problem, and all it had to do was just tell him that you have the charm in your pocket. He's like, "What's in your pocket?" "Oh no, man." And then Ryan Phillipe all of a sudden gets mad about this, like offended that this guy is either making fun of him or whatever, and decides to pull over and tell him to get out of the car. And then they start screaming at each other. And then Lorenz Tate says, "Here's what I have," reaches into his pocket, of course doesn't tell him what it is because that would be too easy. And then Ryan Phillipe shoots him in the chest.
Everything about it is stupid.
It was the
whole
dumbest
scene-
shit. Like, just say you have the fucking charm in your fucking pocket, but no, we have to find some way. What's the way that we're going to make Ryan Phillipe the good cop? How are we going to make him turn bad? Because we had the other cop turn good. So how do we make Ryan Phillipe turn bad? Oh, I know. They have the same charm. And then Lorenz Tate is just not going to state the obvious by saying he has the fucking thing in his pocket to avoid getting shot. It's like, oh my God. Oh. They made these people do the stupidest fucking shit.
thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, you keep going.
Okay.
I'm about to spill over. Go.
All right. So, all right. My next issue that I have is the fact that a lot of this movie, not every part of it, but a lot of it is centered on white emotional awakening.
Yes.
So, multiple plot lines ultimately revolve around white characters discovering or reconciling their own racism. And then that plot line ends.
Mhm.
And then there's resolve. Then there's a musical overture, and there's a hug, or there is a profound moment, and then that scene is resolved.
Mhm.
So while a lot of other characters like Don Cheadle is kind of left in the lurch or left in a back thing, another one is like the only people who reach happy endings or find some sort of resolve are white characters, and it's just kind of built on them to find that understanding.
Mhm. That is very true. I mean, and they find understanding in like the dumbest fucking ways
Oh
possible.
yeah. No, none of that makes sense. But I'm just saying that that's the situation for whatever
Right.
reason.
Wait. Well, I mean, we already talked about a couple of situations. I think like the most blatant example of that is the Matt Dillon redemption arc, right? So the cop that sexually assaults Thandiwe Newton at the beginning is played by Matt Dillon, and she is traumatized by this. She is fucking pissed at her husband for not doing anything about it. She's pissed at the cops. She was humiliated. You know, that would be enough to traumatize any person. So, rational response. And of course, towards the end, well, not towards it. This is like maybe 40 minutes before the end, unfortunately. I like checked the clock and I was like, fuck, how much more of this movie is there? And there's a car crash and he is riding around with his new partner and he runs up the hill all heroic and sees that a woman is stuck and it's Thandiwe Newton. and they recognize each other. She's like, no, I don't want you to help me. Anybody else? And he's like,
It would have been
ma'am.
more impactful if she died.
It would have been very impactful had she died.
It
But
would have been a better script. It would have been a better story if she died.
but we need to, Erin, you're ruining everything, because we
I'm
need
sorry.
her to walk away and turn over her shoulder and give this knowing look to him as if to say, I forgive you.
The shop owner shot the
If
kid.
you're dead, you can't do
died
that.
in a car accident. if Ryan was caught, the bad cop was caught. If all these things happened, if you went with the worst possible scenario, it all would have made for a better film.
Yes. And I mean, and the thing is that, and this is like kind of like what pissed me off about 3 Billboards too, was like, you can be a horrible, horrible person and do one nice thing and everything's fine. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not even a nice thing. He's just doing his fucking job. Yeah, you're supposed to try to pull somebody out if the car is about to explode. Oh, and that was my favorite, because she finally lets him touch her. He's like, I'm going to reach across your lap. I'm going to get you out. And he gets into the car and he like makes this heroic turn to like go back and get her out of the car right before Hollywood car explosion. I mean, it's so fucking on the nose, because of course she was in a car crash. The movie starts with Don Cheadle saying, LA is one of those cities like where you won't ever touch another person until you crash into them or some shit. And so this is a crash.
I mean,
And the racist cop from before goes and saves him.
Also, but at least they get to fuck in the other crash. It's far more entertaining.
It's way more entertaining than this. But yeah, like the thing that's like so dumb is that like you can tell they want this to be a redemption thing. They want it to be a redemption. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, dude, you're still a dick. You're still like, he's not gonna stop being racist because of this. Because he did a nice thing, because he did his fucking job.
Yeah.
Oh, and okay. This was not an example of white redemption, but the scene that really, I mean, all of these scenes fucking get to me. But the scene where the shop owner, he thinks Michale Pena.
Oh, that scene was infuriating.
Infuriating. So Michale Pena had gone to the store to go and fix his lock. He replaces the lock, but he tells the shop owner, but you have to check. He's like, you got to fix your door though, because the door is broken, and the guy doesn't understand him. So the shop owner doesn't understand him and thinks that Michale Pena's character is trying to shake him down for like more money or something. He's like, no, dude. He's like, I'm just telling you to get the door fixed. I replaced your lock. And there's like this whole misunderstanding. So the shop gets robbed later, and he thinks that it was Michale Pena's character. So what does he do? He gets a gun and he finds his name and goes to his house in broad daylight with the intent of getting his money back and probably shooting him. But Michale Pena's daughter runs out to protect him.
With her magic cloak.
Which is adorable. I mean, she's adorable. Like with her magic cloak, because she's afraid of guns. And so she says, Daddy's in danger. I'm going to go run and save him. And right as she runs into his arm, the gun goes off. Now, this could have been worse in that if the daughter had actually gotten shot, I would have been so fucking mad. But she doesn't. It's kind of like one of those Pulp Fiction things, like where, you know, they shot and the bullet magically did not shoot the person. The girl winds up being fine. And here's the thing that gets me. Michale Pena picks up his daughter, goes back into the house. The wife, having seen all of this, just looks on and closes the door behind them, leaving this fucker in the road with a gun after he just tried to shoot him. There is no showing them call the police. There is no Michale Pena going and beating the shit out of this guy. There is none of this. But of course, once again, this guy has to be redeemed, right? So he goes back to his shop and he tells his daughter, he's like, that girl is my angel because she didn't die. It's like, you motherfucker, you're so lucky that girl didn't die.
The last 30 minutes of this movie just goes like bananas.
It is insane.
It is so bonkers. And I like my notes, because at some point my notes went bonkers too. And I just was like, it just de-evolved into hate speech. I can't explain it any other way. I'm like trying to read.
Oh my God, that's so meta. It actually made you a racist.
Yeah, like it's just like, oh my God, it's just so terrible. Because at one point I'm like number 10. Like I had like 42 different problems here. And none of them are actually problems at this point. It's just me like pounding on the keyboard like this, going.
No, I mean,
but,
look,
like
it's
One
like,
of my
yeah.
problems that I had was the musical overlude that was
Oh,
done by
yes.
Bird York. And it was like the song was called In the Deep. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's just like this montage of people feeling all their deep feelings at the end of the movie. And it made me want to like go out and commit more hate crimes.
You know what?
Just
You know what? You know what it reminded me of? I feel like he was trying to kind of like replicate some Magnolia magic there. I feel like he was trying to
something. I
steal
don't know
from
what was
Magnolia a little
going
bit
on with that.
because it reminded me of Amy Mann's soundtrack, like during the scene like where they're all like lip syncing the song and it's like the sad
Yeah.
montage and everything. But that was better. And then like another thing, it was just like, oh, it's gonna start to snow, and I was like, oh, it's like the raining frogs. It totally reminded me of Magnolia. I was just like, I feel like he's trying to
Just like,
bite off of some of Magnolia magic.
what is this that you're trying to represent? Like what is this? And then I wrote, fuck you, Paul Haggis. Like just again and again and again. I'm like, oh my God, that scene was so awful.
It was
Because
so bad.
it was a bad song choice with a bad song, and like everybody's just deeply like weird views of everybody just deeply feeling all their deep feelings over
Mm-hmm.
this terrible song. And it just, whatever you were trying to capture, you didn't capture that. It
No.
just made the insignificance of this movie and how shallow it is that much more shallow.
Mm-hmm. It was just very self-serious too. It was just kind of
Yeah,
like,
it took
because
itself too seriously, and like there's no humor in this movie. There's got to be
no.
some humanity, and that's the purpose of humor sometimes in a script.
Yeah.
It's not that every movie needs humor, but sometimes you need to relate to someone's humanity, and that's a good way to do it, is
Yeah.
by allowing a little bit of humor to sneak through. So even if you have something super dark or super awful or something, there's a little bit of humor there to latch onto, so you can at least find the humanity in the character. And there was
Right.
none of that in here.
Right. This film does not take a breath. It's
No.
like the first time we see Michael Pena with his daughter, who's hiding under the bed. Like that's a very sweet scene. Because I just
Maybe Don Cheadle, there's a little bit where he's like on the phone, he's being sarcastic with his mom. It made me like laugh a little bit, where he's all like, "What are you doing?" "Oh, I'm having sex with a white woman." But like then like
but then like he
Cheadle,
says something fucking racist to his girlfriend.
yeah, but then like she's all like, yeah, parking his cars on the lawn, and
Oh
then like, yeah.
God.
And then
Seriously?
like,
Like at that point I was like, seriously? Did we have to like it felt once again, it just
the
feels
fact that
so
Jennifer
forced.
is even looking at you, you should thank God.
Right? That I forgot
Every day.
how smoking hot she is. Oh my God.
So, like, listen, I don't know what genie in the lamp situation you have going on here, but you should think of every single day that this is occurring. Instead, you're just insulting her.
Yeah. And like and here's it's like she makes it a point to tell him she's like Puerto Rican and El
Yeah,
Salvadoran, I think. And
clearly
he's just
this
like
is an issue for
and he's
her.
like,
So
"All you
let
people
me
park your cars on
try.
the." It's like, dude, do you first of all, do you ever want to get laid ever again by this woman? And secondly, what is the point of pulling out that fucking stereotype in that moment? It was just so forced,
Yeah.
and it didn't feel authentic at all. It just felt like Haggis was like, "Wonder what racist shit I can say right now. What is he gonna say? Well, she is Latina, so maybe I'll throw this one in." And it was just like, oh man, it was just painful, and when it didn't need to be, you know, it went too far, and it went so far as to paint a very unrealistic and inauthentic depiction of Los Angeles.
At the very end, they just like shoehorn in this human trafficking story.
What the fuck was that?
And like you're just like, I'm so confused. Like, why the fuck would you do this? Can't
Yeah.
you have so much going on. Like, I don't understand what's going on. Now you're just gonna shoehorn in random human trafficking.
Yeah, and it was almost like Haggis like had a friend who told a story about like how he heard about this one thing on the news once, and it was like, well, yeah, let's run with that shit, and made it seem like human trafficking is like just a thing here. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it is, but I've never seen it.
And I don't know what the story is behind this, because honestly, I was so angry at this movie, I didn't want to learn more about it.
Right. That's
Like,
fair.
I learned the base things about it and just
Right.
like, fuck.
Right. That's fair.
And then like I'm like, and then at the very end, it just ends with a car crash. So I'm like, oh great, you're gonna bookend this with a car crash.
Wait, get it, Erin? Because the film is called Crash.
I just got
Wait,
it.
do you get
Oh,
it?
that's so smart.
Wait.
Oh.
I know.
Your movie.
I know.
Fuck you.
There's several crashes in this. So, I mean, there's the crash at the beginning. There's the crash of Thandiwe Newton.
There's the crash of my hopes and dreams.
It crashed my
crash of my movie
my
expectations.
soul. It crashed a lot of things, like my belief that cinema can heal. No, we're not there.
Yeah.
It almost got there, though.
It was right after this that I think that they really started seriously kind of looking at who was voting at the Academy, and they went, we need to take a pause.
Yeah.
Because things were wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I feel nobody really wanted this film to win.
No,
But
it was a
so
shock.
close.
It
It
was-
was so close. Like in the voting.
Yeah.
Like in the voting, it was very close. I think it only came down to like a few votes, like 2 or 3.
Really? Because
Yeah.
and I remember it was a shocker because I was like, Brokeback has this. Brokeback has
Yeah.
it. No
But
problem.
Brokeback would have
Like,
deserved it. Brokeback was a much better film.
oh my God. Leaps and bounds. Leaps
And
and
this
bounds
is-
better.
I mean, it's not even like the Shakespeare in Love situation where Shakespeare in Love. I mean, listen, Shakespeare in Love didn't deserve its Oscar over Saving Private Ryan.
No.
Saving Private Ryan deserved the Oscar.
Yes.
But like, at least Shakespeare in Love wasn't a bad movie.
No, it was good. It's fun.
good
It's a
movie.
good movie.
You're like, you're bummed that it didn't go to Saving Private Ryan.
Very
but you're
bummed.
not like super devastated. Like
No.
you're just like, yeah.
I was just like,
Whatever.
it stung, but okay. We did not watch the Oscars together in 2000. I think this was in 2006
Correct.
when the Oscars came out for this film. So I remember being at a friend's house, and I remember I was like one of the last people in the living room still watching the Oscars because I was like probably like the only person that was like super into it there. And when they announced Crash, I screamed. I screamed like I was in a horror film, Erin. And everybody outside who was not watching anymore with me was like, what? But I screamed when that happened because I could not fucking believe it.
I know
Like-
I wasn't with you at the Oscars because I think I was at the Oscars.
Well, usually we watch. We watch together. So, but yeah, we did not watch in 2006. And I mean, you could see it on the screen. Nobody thought that was going to happen. Jack Nicholson didn't think it was going to happen. Jack Nicholson was like, wow. Like,
Because everybody kind of thought this movie was Drek. I feel like, listen, nobody. I want to see something redeeming about this movie. I do. So I'll say this:
wow.
some of
Okay.
the performances are good.
Yes. Yes.
Some people earn their paychecks.
Yeah, no bad actors in this.
Thandiwe, I mean, she was really good. Some people were really good in this film.
I think everybody
Did their best.
did their best with the
material.
material that they had. And
Yes.
even like Ludacris, like that character bugged the shit out of me. But look, he didn't write it.
No,
And I think that he did a great job with,
If-
what was written on the page. Like, but that character was just infuriating.
I hope that everybody enjoys the summer houses, the pools at this
Yes.
spot, that the cars at this spot. I
Mhm.
hope that they used it in good health.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
what I will say with this movie.
Yeah.
What did Paul Haggis make after this? Did he
Mm.
have something that was his downfall?
Not a ton, I don't think. I don't think he made a ton
I feel like
afterwards.
he had a movie that was his downfall.
It was In the Valley of Allah. He did that one, I think. Hold on, I'm gonna look at IMDb. Let's look it up. Let's look at
Okay.
I thought I had it up, but he hasn't done a lot at all. And I mean, I saw him in that one Scientology documentary.
That's true.
That was like I was like, oh yeah, Paul Haggis, and I had forgotten. I had forgotten at the time, but yeah, In the Valley of Allah, he wrote $1 Million Baby. So that was actually even more recent because he's done a lot of writing, but not a ton of directing. Something called Third Person, Next 3 Days, Artist for Haiti. Yeah, and then In the Valley of Allah and Black
Yeah.
Donnellys, and then Crash
Oh,
was
the
before
TV
that.
show, Black Donnellys. Yeah.
Yeah. So not a ton,
All right.
but I mean, hopefully he doesn't try to attack this topic again.
Yeah.
Truly hope that he doesn't try to do that. That would suck.
So, do we chuck? Do we cherish?
I don't know, Erin. What do you think?
Oh, it's a tough one. Tough one, my friend.
I want to chuck this
Chuck
movie over the side of the 405 freeway.
I never
Or
see
into
this
traffic.
film again.
I never
I'm
need to see
fine
this
with
film
it.
ever again. No, it's like
I never need to see this film again. I would rather watch the Smurfs movies back to back 3 days in a row.
that's not an endorsement at all. At all.
That's
I
that was
don't even know what I would want to. I
I
mean,
don't even I don't know where I was in my notes, but I wrote that as problem number 15, and I just wrote, I would rather watch the Sparks movies.
yes. The film just makes you feel bad. I mean, like it doesn't uplift you or anything. Like I just felt like a lead fucking balloon at the end of this. Just like, well, thanks. Thanks for showing me how awful people can be. I've never met these people, these terrible people, but thank you for showing me this and for making me not care about anybody for 2 hours.
Listen, I watch a lot of, like, I'm a film sadist sometimes, and I don't mind a
Yes, you
good
are.
feel-bad movie. I watch a lot of feel-bad movies. I'm
Mhm.
fine with that. I'm cool with, like, being let go, and, like, I've watched a lot of like, Todd Solondz made a really career out of, like, feel-bad movies. I don't mind any of them. That's fine.
Uh-huh.
That isn't what gets me. It's it's a feel-bad movie that talks down to its audience and
Yes.
is stupid.
It really talks. It's almost like you're like, did you hear about this thing called racism?
Yeah,
Let me tell you about
exactly.
racism. Let me
Oh
show
my
you
god.
all the different ways that somebody can be a racist
I mean,
in the
it's like
city.
literally, it's a Canadian comes down to America and discovers racism, the movie.
Yeah, imagine like the nicest Canadian coming down and being like, "Oh shit," like they saw like they get carjacked and they're like, "Well, I'm going to do a study on this," and then they
Yeah.
start doing a study on it, and they're just like, "You mean oh my god!" Like they keep on hearing like these stories, like these insulated incidents or whatever, and decide to make an entire movie to indict an entire city and how it deals with race. Once
His
again, not saying that LA has always been the best with that, but by 2004, it wasn't nearly as, in my experience, it wasn't as bad as what they're depicting here because it's so, once again, it's just like it was almost like he got an assignment saying, like, I want you to write the most racist people you could possibly imagine and create situations that, like, where racism would appear. And not all of them are realistic. And a lot of them are very caricatured.
he did
Extremely
all of
caricatured.
his research only using Ask Jeeves.
Probably. No, that's kind of like what it seemed like. It seemed kind of like, I don't know. I have so many issues with this film, but I mean, I think that we've done a pretty good job of discussing them. Do you have anything else redeeming that you want to talk about in terms
No,
of the
that's
film?
it. That's it. That's
The
done. I'm
acting,
done.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
everything. I did everything. I put out
Cinematography is
everything
kind of
I could.
cool. Cinematography is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the actors are good. Like it's a stacked cast. It's like it's hard to make these people act bad, I think, but I was not a fan of
Listen,
any of these
I would
characters.
love to reassemble this group of actors and for better material.
Yes, that would be great. That would actually be
That would
really
be
cool.
great. I wanna see them. I would love to see them do Love Actually.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be great.
No, but you would hate it still.
We'll see.
I
I might
mean,
enjoy
it's like
it.
one of the things that test our bond is your lack of love for Love Actually. Okay, I'm trying to think of like there's anything else that I could think of that's positive besides the acting and cinematography, but I can't think of anything. So I think I'm good.
I'm
Chuck
good.
the fuck out of this movie over. No, you know what? Better yet, into traffic. Chuck it
Yeah,
into LA traffic.
you know what? You should just watch Traffic. It's a better movie.
Oh, traffic is great.
Yeah, Traffic's great. Yeah.
Oh, let me ask you a question. Since they cover similar ground, somewhat different tones, though. Do you prefer this movie or Falling Down?
Falling Down.
Okay. All right.
I think I prefer Falling Down.
I will allow it. Thank you.
I don't think Falling Down ever thought that its audience was stupid or didn't know what racism was.
Yeah.
I think Falling Down was just a problematic movie. This is a step beyond that.
Right. Yes, for sure. Okay. I just want to see because I know that you hated Falling Down as well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, and the one thing I will say about Falling Down is, like, once again, I think that it does hit on something that I think is very relevant today, or at least like in the discourse that's happening today, like around male like entitlement and feeling left behind and all of that stuff. I do think it does expose that in a way that I think is effective, and I think what Michael Douglas is just fucking incredible. But it does kind of like do some of the same stuff, right? It's like, here's a situation with racism, here's a situation like where he's going to be a dick. But I like, to your point about like the lack of laughter and everything, like, there is like some levity in Falling Down. Like some of it is kind of like funny, but it winds up being about a very serious topic. I just think that they handled it better in Falling Down as well. So anyways.
They both rely on stereotypes in order to project its racism.
Right. Yeah.
But the issue with Falling Down isn't the fact that it needs to explain what racism is to its audience. It's
Right.
just going to assume that they know the audience knows what that is.
Right.
Where I feel at every step, that's what this movie was trying to do. Like,
Mhm.
you know what racism is? Let me explain it to you. Do you not get it yet? Let me explain it to you with this. Let me
Right.
explain it to you with this. But it never really ever takes those characters. It only ever shows the surface of the characters, but it never really shows like them within their culture.
Mhm.
It never shows that experience of the characters. It never shows them within their community. It never shows them. It only shows them as a white person would see them,
Mhm. Yeah.
or as Paul Haggis would see them.
Mhm. Yeah. I think this is all Paul Haggis.
Yeah, I think it's just without even just
We can just get it right there. That's it. Okay. Are you good? You done?
I'm good.
All right, I'm good too. All right. Thanks everybody. Go watch Crash and get really drunk and heckle it while you watch.
All right.
Okay.
Bye guys.
Bye.